10 minimalist rules that actually work, even if you're not a minimalist. Woman. Lives in 3,500 square feet, owns over 10,000 items, and earns $85,000 annually. She's constantly stressed, can't find anything, and spends weekends organizing stuff she doesn't use. Woman B lives in 950 square feet, owns 300 carefully chosen items, and earns $62,000. She's peaceful, knows where everything is, and spends weekends doing what she loves. Here's the question that should terrify you. Are you woman? Pretending you're happy, or are you ready to become woman B? Americans own an average of 300,000 items per household. We spend $1,800 yearly on organization products for stuff we never use. We work overtime to afford storage units filled with things that bring zero joy. The problem isn't your space, it's what's filling it. These 10 ancient minimalist laws changed everything for me. First year. Saved $12,000, reclaimed 15 hours weekly, and finally felt at peace in my own home. You don't need empty white walls or extreme decluttering, just intentionality, owning what serves you, releasing what enslaves you. If you're drowning in stuff you don't love or use, comment "less is more" and hit subscribe. Law number 9 will completely shift how you think about buying anything ever again. Let me show you what the ancient Spartans understood about quality. Law 1, the Spartan quality over quantity principle. There's an ancient story about two travelers walking across kingdoms. The first bought cheap sandals every month because they kept breaking. Thin leather, poor stitching, falling apart after weeks of use. Over 10 years, he spent 120 coins replacing them constantly, always dealing with blisters and broken straps. The second traveler saved carefully and bought expensive, masterfully crafted leather sandals once. They cost 150 coins but lasted the entire decade. Same journey, one spent 1,200 coins total, the other spent 150 once. This is the too broke to buy cheap principle that ancient cultures understood perfectly. Quality costs less long-term because you stop the replacement cycle. Cheap items feel affordable initially, but they bleed you slowly through constant repurchasing. A $30 pan replaced 5 times costs more than a $150 pan lasting 20 years. The math is simple, but most people ignore it, choosing immediate savings over lifetime value. Buying quality requires patience. You must research thoroughly, test carefully, compare options, and save until you can afford the best. This process naturally slows consumption because quality items demand intentional decisions. You can't impulse buy a $200 winter coat the way you grab a $20 one. Lesson: cheap is expensive when you count all the replacements. Before any purchase, ask one question: will I use this 1,000 times or more? If yes, invest in the absolute best quality you can afford and use it relentlessly for decades. If no, don't buy it at all, regardless of price. This simple filter eliminates both cheap junk and expensive impulses. A woman bought $30 Target pans 5 times over 8 years, $150 total. Constant frustration with warping and sticking. Her friend bought $180 all-clad pans once, still using them 12 years later with perfect performance. Same cooking, opposite spending. The first chose affordable repeatedly. The second choice quality once. Quality demands more money initially, but less money eternally. That's the ancient mathematics of true economy. Law 2, the Stoic, absolute yes or absolute no law. An ancient king summoned his chef and demanded perfect soup. The chef served lukewarm broth, not hot enough to enjoy the flavors, not cold enough to refresh on a summer day, just mediocre middle temperature that satisfied nothing. The king threw it out, saying, "Lukewarm is worthless. Give me definitively hot or definitively cold, but never this uncertain middle." From that day, he only accepted food that was absolutely one thing or absolutely another. Lukewarm meant wasted resources and guaranteed disappointment. This applies perfectly to possessions and commitments. If something isn't an absolute yes, genuine excitement, clear purpose, immediate joy, then it's automatically a no. The lukewarm maybes are what clutter your space with mediocrity. Maybe I'll use this someday translates to I definitely won't use this ever. This is pretty nice, I guess, means this will sit in my closet for 3 years untouched. Your gut knows the truth instantly. When you find something you truly need or love, there's no questioning, no rationalization required, no talking yourself into it. The decision feels obvious, but when you're standing there thinking, well, it's a good price, or I might need this eventually, or it's not perfect, but those are warning signs screaming, don't buy this. Lesson: maybes become clutter, absolutes become treasures. Starting today, practice the gut check on every purchase and commitment. Feel genuine excitement and certainty? That's your yes. Feel any uncertainty, rationalization, or need to convince yourself? That's your automatic no. No exceptions, no but it's on sale excuses. A man kept 40 maybe I'll wear this shirts for 3 years, never wore a single one because they felt just okay. Finally, donated all 40, kept only 20 he genuinely loved. His closet went from 200 mediocre items to 60 absolute favorites. Less quantity, more daily joy. Listen to your gut. It knows the difference between an absolute yes and a disguised no. Law 3. The Buddhist regular release practice. Ancient teachers compared possessions to water. A stagnant pond never flows. The water sits motionless, becomes thick with algae, breeds disease, and turns toxic over time. But a flowing river constantly releases water downstream while receiving fresh water from upstream. The river stays clean, clear, alive, supporting fish and plants. It remains healthy because it never holds water permanently. Your possessions work identically. If you only acquire and never release, your space becomes a stagnant pond. Toxic, overwhelming, suffocating. Items you don't use pile up, collecting dust and guilt. You can't find what you actually need because it's buried under what you don't need. The energy becomes heavy, stagnant, and depressing. Regular releasing keeps your space like the flowing river, fresh, functional, peaceful. This isn't a one-time spring cleaning event. It's a quarterly lifestyle practice. Every 3 months, walk through your space and honestly evaluate. Am I actually using this? Does this still serve my life? If the answer is no, release it immediately. Donate it, sell it, gift it, just let it flow out. Most people resist this because they fear scarcity. What if I need this someday? But that fear keeps you drowning in hundreds of unused items while searching desperately for the 10 you actually use. The irony is that releasing unused items makes your useful items more accessible. Lesson: what you don't release eventually suffocates you. Set a calendar reminder right now for quarterly decluttering. Every 90 days minimum. When the reminder comes, spend 2 hours evaluating one category. This season, clothes. Next season, kitchen items. Following season, papers and books. No exceptions. No I'll do it next quarter delays. Items unused in the past 90 days must go. A family decluttered once 5 years ago, then slowly accumulated 2,000 items again. They started quarterly release rituals. Over 3 years, they freed those 2,000 items gradually. Now their home stays consistently peaceful because the river keeps flowing instead of becoming a stagnant pond. Release regularly or drown slowly. There's no middle option with possessions. Law 4. The Taoist delayed desire wisdom. An ancient parable tells of a hungry ghost who saw delicious food and devoured it immediately. But the ghost was never satisfied, always hungry, always searching for the next meal, trapped in endless craving. A wise monk saw the same food, but waited 3 days before deciding whether to eat it. By day 3, he realized he didn't actually need it. His initial hunger had been an illusion, not a necessity. Instant gratification created eternal hunger. Delayed gratification created contentment. Wanting something and buying something are two completely separate actions. But modern consumer culture deliberately blurs this boundary. They want you to collapse the gap between desire and purchase to 0 seconds. One-click ordering, same-day delivery, buy now, pay later. But that gap is where wisdom lives. A wish list creates sacred space between impulse and action. When you see something you want, write it down with the date, price, and honest reason why you want it. Then set it aside for 30 days. Studies show 80% of wishlisted items lose their appeal within a month. The wanting wasn't a real need. It was triggered by emotion, social comparison, boredom, or advertising manipulation. Distance reveals truth. Lesson: distance between wanting and buying reveals what's real. Starting today, keep a Notes app wish list. Every single thing you want goes on the list. No exceptions. No "but this is different" excuses. Add item name, date, cost, and brutally honest reason. Revisit monthly. Still genuinely want it after 30 days? Consider purchasing. Lost interest? You just saved money and avoided clutter. A woman committed to wishlisting everything for 1 full year. She added 147 items ranging from clothing to home decor to electronics. After applying the 30-day waiting period, she bought only 12 of those items. The other 135 lost their appeal. She saved $3,400 on impulses that would have become clutter within weeks. The wanting feels urgent today, but waiting proves it was usually just noise, not signal. Law 5. The Roman everything has home order. The Roman legions conquered half the known world not through superior numbers but through superior organization. Every weapon, every tool, every supply had a designated spot in the camp. A soldier could find his sword in complete darkness during a surprise attack because he knew exactly where it lived. Disorganized armies fumbled in chaos, searching for equipment while enemies advanced. Organization meant survival. Chaos meant defeat. Your home operates on identical principles. Clutter isn't primarily about owning too much. It's about items being homeless. 20 items without designated homes create more visual chaos than 200 items that all have clear spots. When things lack homes, they land randomly on counters, chairs, and floors, creating that overwhelming "I can't deal with this" feeling. The solution is simple, but requires discipline. Everything needs a home. Keys always go on the hook by the door. The wallet always goes in the same purse pocket. The phone charger always plugs into the same outlet. Mail immediately goes to the designated mail spot. No exceptions. No, "I'll put it away later." No random piles. This isn't about being uptight. It's about making your space functional. You stop wasting mental energy remembering where you put things. You stop the 10-minute frustrated search for car keys when you're already late. You stop feeling overwhelmed by visual clutter because items return to their homes immediately after use. Lesson: homeless items create mental homelessness. This week, assign permanent homes to your 10 most used items. Keys, wallet, glasses, phone, laptop charger, scissors, tape, pen, reusable water bottle, face mask. Mark the spots if needed. Then practice the discipline of immediately returning items to their homes after every single use. No setting them down just for now. A man spent 15 minutes daily searching for his wallet, keys, and phone. He calculated this as 90 hours yearly lost to searching. After assigning homes and building the return immediately habit, he finds anything in 10 seconds. 90 hours reclaimed annually just from giving things homes. Everything homeless eventually makes you feel homeless in your own space. Law 6. The Confucian solve, don't create principle. An emperor received an exotic animal as a diplomatic gift. The creature was rare and beautiful, impressing all visitors, but it required special imported food, costing a fortune, custom housing that took months to build, and dedicated handlers pulled from important duties. The gift that was supposed to bring prestige instead drained resources and created endless problems. A wise emperor learned to refuse gifts that demanded more than they gave, solving problems without creating bigger ones. Every purchase should solve more problems than it creates. This sounds obvious, but most people violate it constantly. You buy a beautiful rug to refresh your living room, but now the couch doesn't match the new color scheme. So you need new throw pillows, then new curtains, then you're repainting. What started as a $200 rug snowballed into a $4,000 remodel. You bought cascading problems, not a solution. This happens with clothing constantly. You find a stunning piece at a thrift store, the wrong size, but an amazing brand. You buy it thinking, "I'll get it tailored." Tailoring costs $80 and takes 3 weeks. The altered piece doesn't match anything in your wardrobe, so now you need new shoes and accessories. One $30 thrift find created $200 in additional purchases and complications. Lesson: if it creates more problems than it solves, it's expensive regardless of price. Before any purchase, ask explicitly, what new problems will this create? Maintenance requirements, storage needs, matching items needed, professional services required, lifestyle changes demanded? If the problems list exceeds the benefits list, walk away immediately. A woman bought a stunning designer dress for 70% off, an incredible deal. But it required dry cleaning after every wear, didn't match any shoes she owned, and was too formal for her actual lifestyle. I wore it twice in 3 years while spending $120 on dry cleaning and buying new shoes. The deal cost her $300 total for 2 wears. Stop buying problems disguised as deals. Your wallet and sanity will thank you. Law 7, the Talmudic purpose before purchase law. A merchant prepared for a long journey but didn't know his destination. He bought supplies for crossing deserts, then supplies for climbing mountains, then supplies for sailing across seas. He spent a fortune on gear for every possible terrain. When he finally chose his destination, a simple coastal town, 90% of his purchases were completely useless. A wise merchant knew his destination first, then bought only the necessary supplies for that specific journey. Purpose dictated purchases, not the reverse. Most people buy randomly and then try to justify the purchase afterward. I got this because it was on sale isn't a purpose. It's an excuse. I might need this someday isn't a purpose. It's fear disguised as planning. Real purpose is specific. I'm buying this winter coat because I walk to work daily in freezing temperatures and my current coat has holes. Without a clear purpose, you accumulate randomly. Your closet fills with clothes that don't match anything. Your kitchen overflows with single-use gadgets. Your garage becomes a graveyard of equipment for hobbies you tried once. Every purposeless purchase becomes clutter within weeks. Lesson: purpose clarifies necessity, impulse creates confusion. Before any purchase, force yourself to write one complete sentence. I am buying this because specific, honest purpose. If you can't write a clear sentence without vague words like might, maybe, or someday, then you don't have a real purpose. Don't buy it. A man bought an $800 camera because it was an amazing deal. Sat unused for 3 years because he had no actual purpose for it, no project, no hobby, no need. His friend bought the identical camera for a specific documentary project, used it over 1,000 times because the purpose preceded the purchase. Same camera, same price. One became expensive clutter, one became a valuable tool. The difference wasn't the item, it was whether purpose came before or after the buying decision. Purpose first, purchase second. Reverse that order and you're just accumulating expensive justifications. Law 8, the Japanese joy or goodbye ritual. A man kept dried, dead flowers throughout his house because they were beautiful once, and they hold memories of happy times. His home was filled with brittle, faded, ugly remnants of past joy. A wise woman kept only fresh, blooming flowers. When flowers began fading, she released them with gratitude for the beauty they provided, making space for new blooms. Her space always felt alive, joyful, and present. His space felt like a museum of decay. This is the Marie Kondo principle applied honestly. Does this item spark joy right now, today, in your present life? Not did it spark joy 5 years ago, or might it spark joy someday? Now, this moment, hold the item, feel your genuine response. Real joy is unmistakable. Warmth, happiness, genuine appreciation. If you feel guilt, obligation, or the heavy weight of I should keep this, that's not joy. People keep things for terrible reasons masquerading as good ones. It was expensive, so I can't get rid of it, keeps you surrounded by expensive mistakes. It was a gift, keeps you imprisoned by other people's choices. I might need it someday, keeps you drowning in hypothetical futures. None of these is joy. Lesson: honor memory by releasing burden, not keeping trash. This week, hold 10 items you're uncertain about. Actually, physically hold each one. Notice your gut response, genuine happiness and appreciation. keep it? Guilt, obligation, rationalization, or numbness? Thank it for its service and release it. You're not dishonoring memories by letting go. You're honoring them by keeping only what truly matters. A woman kept 200 sentimental items, feeling guilty about potentially discarding memories. She forced herself to apply the spark joy honestly. 20 items brought genuine happiness. 180 brought only guilt and obligation. She kept the 20, photographed sentimental aspects of the rest, and donated everything else. Now, those 20 meaningful items receive proper attention instead of being buried in 180 guilt objects. Joy isn't guilt wearing a disguise. Know the difference and release accordingly. Law 9. The Benjamin Franklin pay full or don't pay discipline. A farmer needed an ox for the planting season. His neighbor offered to lend him one, with the agreement he'd return it after harvest. But when harvest came, the farmer couldn't return it because he'd become dependent on the ox. Now he owed the ox, plus interest on its value, plus an endless favor debt to the neighbor. Eventually, the compounding obligations cost him his entire farm. Another farmer saved coins for 3 years, bought his own ox with cash, and owned it free forever with zero debt. This is the ancient principle modern culture desperately wants you to forget. If you cannot pay for something in full today, you cannot afford it. Period. Credit cards, payment plans, buy now, pay later apps, these are tools designed to separate you from tomorrow's freedom to satisfy today's wants. Every debt purchase trades future flexibility for present pleasure. The discipline of saving until you can pay in full forces valuable reflection. While saving, you have months to reconsider whether you actually need the item. Often, the wanting fades completely before you've saved enough, revealing it was an impulse, not a necessity. You also discover what you truly can afford versus what advertisements convinced you to stretch for. Lesson: debt purchases steal future freedom for present pleasure. Starting today, freeze all credit cards and delete buy now, pay later apps. For 90 days, purchase only what you can pay for completely with cash or debit. No exceptions, no "but I need this" excuses. Discover the shocking truth about what you actually can afford versus what you've been artificially inflating through debt. A couple used Afterpay for everything: furniture, clothes, electronics, groceries. They had 15 simultaneous payment plans running and couldn't track total spending. Switched to cash only for 3 months. Their spending dropped 60% immediately because they finally saw real costs. Saved $14,000 in year 1 just from eliminating the debt-enables impulse cycle. Pay full or wait. Those are the only 2 choices that build wealth instead of destroying it. Law 10. The Stoic declutter before organize sequence. A farmer loaded his cart so heavily that it wouldn't budge. Too much weight. He spent hours rearranging items, reorganizing the placement, and trying different configurations. The cart still wouldn't move because the problem wasn't organization, it was quantity. A wise farmer removed unnecessary items first, cutting the load in half. Then the cart rolled easily with the remaining items naturally organized. Most people treat organization as the solution to clutter. They buy bins, baskets, labels, drawer dividers, closet systems, spending hundreds of dollars making clutter look prettier. But organization products don't fix too much stuff. They just create aesthetically pleasing clutter. You're polishing garbage, not removing it. The sequence matters critically. Declutter first, organize second. Remove 50% of any category before considering how to organize what remains. Ruthlessly eliminate items you don't use, don't need, and don't love. What's left will often organize naturally in your existing space without requiring any new products or systems. This is why organization videos on social media feel temporarily satisfying but don't solve your actual problem. They show you how to beautifully arrange items you probably shouldn't own in the first place. The real solution isn't better bins, it's fewer things needing bins. Lesson: organizing clutter is polishing garbage. Before purchasing any organization's products, remove at least 50% of that category first. Declutter clothes before buying closet organizers. Declutter kitchen items before buying drawer dividers. Discover that existing space becomes perfectly adequate when you stop trying to organize too many items. A woman spent $600 on elaborate closet organization systems, rods, shelves, bins, hangers, and shoe racks. Still felt cluttered and overwhelmed. Finally decluttered 60% of her clothing first. Suddenly, her existing basic closet was perfect, with space to spare. She returned the unused organizational products, getting back $400 of the $600. Remove first, organize second. Violate this sequence, and you're just spending money to showcase your clutter collection. 10 ancient minimalist laws. Not Instagram aesthetics or empty white rooms, just intentional living that actually works, whether you call yourself a minimalist or not. Remember, Woman A is drowning in 10,000 items despite a high income. Woman B thriving with 300 intentional possessions. The difference wasn't income or space, it was following these 10 principles consistently. This week, choose one law to practice completely. Start simple. A wish list and waiting prevent new clutter from entering. Or tackle existing chaos. Declutter before organizing removes what's suffocating you. Each law compounds. Master one, add another, build momentum. Comment on which law you're starting with and why. Share your biggest breakthrough from this video. Tag someone buried under stuff they don't use or love. Hit subscribe for minimalism that works in real American life. No perfection required, just intention. Next video breaks down how I decluttered 5,000 items and what I learned. Less clutter equals more money, more time, more peace. You don't need to own anything, just make sure everything you own serves you. Start today. Thank yourself forever.